around there, third year, second year, when I started that community, and then later on took some leadership role in statistics chairman, because I was pursuing statistics and computer science back then. And then now from there, now I after being chairman, now I continue with the community after campus, and then I build a company known as Beyond Data ICT, where we collaborate with data people. We enhance data literacy. So you can just visit Beyond Data ICT website and you'll be able to know more about what we do. We train data analysis, we train data collection, we do consultancy in data, we train data science, machine learning. We do corporate trainings in this space. Also, we have a keen interest on digital literacy. And this is where now we also have programs like AI literacy, where we train people on how they can use AI tools for their day-to-day work. It doesn't really mean that you have to be a technical person to use AI tools. These are tools that you are even interacting with them day in, day out. And I'll be checking the chat section to see which AI tool have you used today. You can't tell me you haven't used any AI tool today. So AI is already working with us. And so, yeah, so this is a conversation that we need to have. Okay. So, yeah. So we have Alliance for AI. So Alliance for AI is a non-profit organization that is based in California. That's US, but it's now working in Africa. Its founder is from Nigeria. It's called Alexander. He's a very top speaker in AI. He's a very top person in terms of AI development, and he's also a founder of different AI organizations he has built so far. And one of them is also Africa GPU Hub, where Africans can rent GPUs at affordable prices to be able to run our localized models. So you can just search Africa GPU Hub. You'll be able to see that, and you need to create an account on app.allianceforai.org. That is also a very nice place where you can get a lot of resources on this. And so in the Alliance for AI is where I happen to be the East Africa community region lead in terms of AI literacy. Yeah, now that one takes us to our conversation of today, which is data protection in AI. Artificial intelligence is transforming different sectors. In healthcare, artificial intelligence is being used in disease diagnostics, and AI can also help personalize healthcare and also be able to improve the patients in terms of keeping track of the patient's records, so that we don't really need to have historical thinking about the patients, but AI can help us now turn that massive data into insights. In finance, AI is being used also in fraud detection, anomaly detection. Whenever you happen to make very large weird transaction, or your account happens to get very much not normal kind of transaction to usually happen within your account, so you are likely to be flagged. And this is part of also AI initiatives in terms of finance. In education, AI is being used to personalize trainings. Okay, and AI is also used in enhancing how we learn. And that's why even in our we have an LMS, a learning management system, where AI can also be used to like look at your assignment and be able to grade you. And also you are also able to use AI to ask any question about the course that you have enrolled. This is a live example that I'm giving, that AI is helping us in that area. In the government and services, AI is using enhanced service delivery. But however, we still need to do more. Okay, we still need to do more. We need transparency. Okay, and so AI can be able to help us in these areas. In the business decision making, companies are leveraging on AI to save time, to grow faster. And all this, remember, everything here is data. And the question now comes, are we protecting people's data as fast as we are building AI systems? That's a very, very key question. We'll be answering that in this particular discussion. Of course, getting perspectives from you, what you think about this topic. Yeah, but AI systems are powered by data, often personal data. Yeah, so what is data protection? We might be in this call, but maybe you have people who are hearing the term maybe data protection for the second time. Maybe the first time was when we were making the call. And so now we have to understand what data protection refers to. This refers to safeguarding personal information, okay? Ensuring that there is lawful and fair processing of the personal data, okay? So when you talk about data protection, we have some terms that usually occur. We have data controller, we have data processor, okay, and of course data processor is a data handler, and data controller is someone who is processing the owner of the data, like the owner of the data in terms of you are the processing data on behalf of a particular entity, for example. Now that's a data controller who knows how this data should be used, okay, should be used, should be processed, when should it be, yeah, when should it be be disposed, and how should it be disposed, and yeah, all the data processes, like the data decisions, are made by that particular entity. When you talk about protecting privacy rights, this is also part of data protection. Data privacy is very key in this area, okay? And so how do we protect that? And also there is issues like breaches, okay? Breaches, this is just violating some particular rules and having access maybe to information you are not supposed to have access to. Like that's the breach when you hear about data breach. So that's what data breach is: people having access to the data they're not supposed to have access to. Misuse, very common scenarios. Maybe you collect data, but you use data for the not intended purpose. And so, or beyond the intended purpose. That is misuse. Exploitation, more or less like misuse of data. And so we need to, data protection now focuses on how we can prevent misuse, how we can prevent breach, and how we can prevent exploitation, and how we are also protecting privacy of our people, and how we are also ensuring there is lawful and fairness processing of data. Okay, often in Africa, we face challenges, but when we try to go and try solve these problems, we realize that, oh, we don't have data. we say, oh, but there's no data set. Okay, that is a very common phrase. There is no data set. Yeah, but we go and collect this data set from our farmers. We go collect these data sets from our MSMEs. We go collect these data sets from whenever we can get. Yeah, but do we safeguard their personal information? So that's what data protection is. And all this is guided by laws and frameworks like the GDPR, Data Protection Act for 2019. This is for Kenya. Personal Data Protection Act 2022. So all these are governing roles. So we have GDPR, which is global, and now we have country-specific laws that are able to protect data. So what makes AI different? Okay. So AI systems collect large volumes of data. AI is data because AI is not magic, actually. AI is data. It's getting all this information from the knowledge base. The knowledge base is where the data is stored, and now gets data there. And then now it can now like reason from maybe previous conversation and retrieve data from that particular source. Okay. And then now AI is able to analyze patterns that are invisible. And that's why it is also used in disease diagnostics. Okay. And so, and then also, is able to learn and adapt over time, which is not common in the local systems that are developed, or traditional systems that are not developed with the AI. And this comes with risks that are associated to the AI systems. Okay. The first risk is the data can be used beyond the original purpose, which we just mentioned, the data protection. Also bias, okay? Bias during the training of the data. I don't want to go into the a lot of technical components of how to develop the AI, but AI just know that it's data, and whichever data is exposed to the AI is able to utilize that data, okay, in order for it to be able to make more informed decision or learn and adapt based on the data you give. Then now individuals may not know how decisions are made. Yes, individuals might not know how decisions are made. If you have just joined us, we are just introducing the topic. We will have an open discussion in a few. Please drop your name in the chat section. Which AI application have you used today? And I would like to hear from you. I'll be reading that as we will be proceeding with our discussion. So how AI uses personal data, okay? These are simple things that maybe we interact with day in, day out, okay? Facial recognition. Facial recognition. For example, even the device I'm using here, the computer I'm using here, I have facial recognition set on my computer, where when I just turn like this and maybe it was off, it automatically unlocks. So such like scenarios are where personal data is used. Credit scoring. This is especially for people who are looking for loans, especially from the finance aspect, or circles from circles and so on. So over time, you are tracked on how you perform in terms of maybe your savings or your transactions. And then these transactions and savings are the one that determine how you are going to get the loan, or to what limit can you have. Just like Fuliza for Kenya, or things like Hustler Fund. Anyway, yes, so it's more or less like that. And then how those ones now determine your limit that you can go. And of course, all these personal data need to be utilized in order to personalize experience. It's more or less like how, for example, telecommunication companies use the way we usually purchase bundles. You may actually, you can come to realize that there's a time you might be suggested um, a different offer, okay, from telecommunication companies like Safaricom, okay, while purchasing bundles or purchasing call, SMS, or minutes. Yeah, so you get that you have different offering from another person and another person, and maybe based on the location. Same thing happens with units, electricity units as well. Yeah, so you might be wondering, why did I move to the another house, and maybe that house is consuming more units than the previous house that I was in. Maybe the person who was coming from there was loading, maybe someone who left that house was loading maybe 1,000 per month. And for you, you come with you a 50 bob. Anyway, that's, let's say, for example, for Kenya. Yeah, so you'll be like, oh, why is this happening? Yeah, the system has learned over time and has now been able to adopt to that particular trend. Okay, these are just like examples. We have other areas like recommendation systems, like even how we watch movies, how we watch YouTube, whatever we watch on YouTube gets personalized. Even advertisement ads get personalized, and even how we purchase products online, like this data, these things are learning from a personal data so that we can be able to customize our user experience. And thus a question comes to us like, do the users truly understand how their data is being used? These are just a few scenarios. Now this one leads us to our first discussion prompt. What are the common areas organizations or common ways organizations try to protect data in AI systems? This is our first discussion prompt. This is an open conversation. I have just introduced the data protection process end to end so that even those who are not familiar with data protection, what it is, at least we get a glance of that. Yeah, and now a call is open to us all in terms of sharing our perspectives on this particular topic. Okay. So maybe I'll just go through the chat section. If you're ready, you can just raise your hand up and I will welcome you to give your perspective on what are the common ways organizations try to protect data in AI systems. That's the first question we have to discuss. So share your perspective on that. So we have David in this call joining from Nyali, used ChatGPT today. We have Bestin joined from Chuda, that's Mombasa. Nyali is also in Mombasa. Used AI to create presentation. Okay, thank you, Bestin. Used Gemini, Gamma AI. Yes, you can see now those people who are in this call have realized that they can use Gamma or AI to be able to create a presentation. Okay, so just take that and start using after this call. Thank you so much, Bestin, for that. So I'll welcome anyone who is ready for this conversation. What do you think? What do you think? What are the common ways organizations try to protect data in AI systems? What do you think about this? Anyone, anything, there's no wrong or right answer. It's just an open discussion. So there's no wrong or right answer. Just give your perspective. Someone else also come give their own perspectives on this topic and we proceed. But if you're joining us for the first time, we are introducing ourselves in the chat section, sharing which AI tool have we used today and maybe for what. Bestin, are you there? Maybe I'll welcome you to open the conversation. Bestin. I think Bestin is not here. I think you kind of dropped. Yeah, but I think you'll be able to be back. So uh, let me welcome John. Yes, John. John Raphael. How are you? If you can hear me, maybe you can react with thumbs up so that I know that we are we are together. Maybe I might be talking, but you can't hear me. Karani, Dennis, can you hear me? Someone confirm. Thank you, Dennis. Yes, Nurdin, welcome so much. Welcome. Please proceed. And yes,
Hello, just my input on the question.
yes,
What are common ways organization trying to protect data in a system? One of the ways could be, trying to limit access, or rather trying to control access, especially when it comes to data. For example, organizations might, especially in the systems, might try to implement or rather give authority on just certain people who can access data while the rest cannot. So I think that's a way organizations use to protect data in systems. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you so much, Nurdin. Maybe you didn't tell us where are you joining us from, Nurdin, and what are you currently working on, or what are you doing? Yeah, anything, just anything. Yes.
Okay, so I'll start by introducing myself. Sorry, I was to start by introducing myself. So my name is Nuruddin Idris, and I'm currently in Lower Kabete. It's in parts of Westlands. What I do, well, at the moment, I'm working as a customer support, but also again, I have enrolled in data analytics course. So maybe in the coming few months, I will be working on data analytics role. Hopefully, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nurdin, for your insights. I'm open to that. I agree with you on that perspective. I'll be able to give my views later on, but let's keep on sharing our views. So anyone who is also ready to open for conversation, just tell us maybe what you are doing, who you are, and yes, your perspective on this particular topic. Welcome, David Olwango.
Hello, good evening to everyone. I believe We are fine.
Yes, yes.
So I'm David Olwango. I've been a student at TUM. Uh, I studied information science. Then I was a beneficiary of the Cape Skies team that were training young innovators, and they were taken through software development. Uh, right now, I'm in Nairobi. For the time being, I got another scholarship, and we were granted access to software development course through Coursera. So that's what I'm doing as at now. Now, just to respond to the question, the common ways organizations try to protect data in AI systems. I believe uh, that organizations normally limit the data that AI can access, because the more this system, the more we interact with the system and feed them with data, the more we are training them. So I believe that there is that limitation on what AI is allowed to access and what it should not access.
Okay, okay.
Yes, by doing so, I believe that taking the data. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, David. Who else wants to respond on this, wants to give their views? Who else want to give their views? Please feel welcome. This is an open call. So it's a conversation. We'll be having more or less similar conversation, different topics. And so let's have an open talk on this. Yes. Who else wants to contribute on this before we proceed to the next discussion? Okay, yeah. So thank you so much, David and Nordin, for your insights on this particular topic. This is a very interesting question when it comes to how organizations can protect data in AI systems. So there are various ways, by the way, this can happen, and this is very, very important because you can't say that your data doesn't have personal data, personal information. Always, when you try to collect data, there's a time maybe you might even collect someone's name, someone's email, someone's phone number, someone's ID, someone's any identification, like even location. And so you always need to protect this data. There are different ways. There's data minimization. There is data anonymity. You try to anonymize the data so that is not easily detected. But I'll share all that in the next slide. So let me explain also how now AI is not even the AI systems themselves, but even how organizations are operating. For example, organizations that are using Microsoft 365. There is Copilot, and Copilot can also be guided on which data can be accessed. For example, for Microsoft, there is OneDrive and there is SharePoint, where these are more or less used like cloud services where data can be stored. And so there, once the data is not anonymized and maybe data is minimized, this data can now be put in these store cloud storages for Microsoft. Later on, even Azure. I'm not talking about Azure. They're focusing on SharePoint, common ones, and OneDrive. And so you can query, you can ask anything, you can ask even about a particular order, and then this Copilot will go fetch the file, give you result. This order is for this particular order ID, and so on. So you try to minimize personal data. You might leave something like someone's name is not that bad per se, because of course you might need to retry this, but it's always good to assign unique identifiers which can uniquely anonymize these people for the data that you are feeding to the AI. And also Google has Gemini, which is also incorporated in the Google Workspace. Okay, which also you can tailor which particular kind of information need to be accessed. But always good practices are as follows. The good practices are as follows. The practice that we need always to be doing, all of us, not even all of us, majority of us will be dealing with organizational data. And data anonymization is very important. Data encryption is very important, where files are protected. This is a common thing. Files are protected, okay? There is level of security even on access on different files. There is access control as well. Who can have access to what? And of course, all this can be able to be limiting. Data minimization, you try to minimize data to only remain with what is needed. Don't have like very large traces, but you're only using maybe, let's say 5 columns, and you have a data set of 30 columns. So you try to minimize this data, and that way you minimize the risks of data, exposing this data to even AI or whatsoever. Also, security cloud storage. Yes, this security cloud storage depends on whichever cloud storage you are storing your data on. There's always a security measures that are there. If you're using AWS, if you're using Azure or whatsoever cloud based solution. But most of the AI solutions are usually follow in development. During the development, it is especially encouraging for developers. You need to have privacy by design principles, where you ensure that there is that level of privacy within the system design principles. Yeah. So in case there is something that someone wants to add before we proceed to the next prompt, anything you want to add to this before we proceed? Anyone? Anyone? This is Benson Wachira. Glad to be here. He's not able to unmute because of the noisy place. We understand that. However, his input is that most employees use AI tools such as text generators like ChatGPT to write reports. In doing this, the employee shares company information as a prompt. This is also used by data analysts and finance personnel to create reports by uploading company data. What is your take on this? So this is the contribution from Benson in regards to this. Okay. Yeah, so maybe if there's someone who has a perspective on this, what do you think about this? Maybe I'll try go fast because I can see time is moving very fast. So I'll go fast. So when it comes to this area, always the most critical component is an organization need to align. Of course, if an organization has a tech department, need to align which tools the organization is using, no matter what. That's the first thing. Everything must start from there. Which tools are the organization using? And then this one actually, like for example, in AI literacy program that we are having starting Saturdays, is especially on weekend, is going to train people on how to leverage on AI tools in the workplaces, because this is something that you can't avoid. Of course, if you are not being taken through the AI literacy, is when you are likely to even upload all personal data, all information to the AI models. Okay. And that way you will be exposing even critical information. And so that's why literacy is very important. AI literacy is very important. People knowing how to just like copy and paste like questions or prompts in the AI model is not enough. People need to know how to use this ethically. And that's why that is very, very important. But I was mentioning organization need to align. If you're using, for example, Google products, you can of course have a structure that Gemini is the go-to tool for you. For instance, if maybe you're using something like Microsoft, maybe Copilot is the go-to tool for you as a company. But as well, internal team need to be trained on AI literacy. Okay, cybersecurity and AI literacy are very, very important concepts that organization cannot avoid. in this AI age. Because if this doesn't happen, this is what will result, Benson. This is what will result. People will upload even data that's not supposed to be shared. Copying numbers that have no much exposure of personal data to the models for helping in the insight generation. That one does not give more risk to an organization. What gives an organization more risk is giving, like for example, downloading the entire Excel and uploading the entire Excel to a model. And this entire Excel contains a very very key information about the organization, especially personal and identifiable information. That's a very risk to happen to an organization. So without AI literacy, companies are going to lag behind, and that one does not need to happen. So we need to see how we can help these companies do better. We need to see how we can help these companies do better. That's my perspective, Benson. So we need AI literacy. There's someone who I think there's one of when I was posting this conversation on LinkedIn, there was some fear from particular organizations like this is not the right time to have this topic. Yes, this is actually the right time to have this topic because this is the truth. Organizations are using AI. Organizations are using AI. I can see that David is laughing. Yes, this is not the right time to use tools. This is the right time to discuss this AI data protection issue. There's not always a best time. So we just have to face it. We just need to create literacy. It's not something that you'll say you'll do away with. It's just like internet. You can't say you'll do away with the internet, people to go back to. So it's just about AI literacy, and that's what is needed. So we just need AI literacy to happen. And once that AI literacy happens, everyone will know to what limit do they need. That AI ethics need to happen. Without AI ethics, even if we come up with AI strategies for Africa, AI strategies for Kenya, AI strategies for Rwanda, AI strategies for EAC, will not be going anywhere. We need to start with AI literacy. AI literacy doesn't really need to know that how do you develop AI, how do you, I don't know, transformers, I don't know what. No, you need to know how do you communicate to AI. Which kind of information should you not expose to AI? Which kind of information you should expose to AI? How can AI work with you hand in hand? Again, if you don't use AI, someone else who is using AI will replace you tomorrow, and you will tell us that AI has replaced you. So we don't want to see you crying that AI has replaced you. We want to see how you can use AI properly. Okay, and so that's why we come with AI literacy programs to ensure to curb this gap. So someone else with anything on this topic? I know this AI and data protection issue can really take even whole day conversation, even the AI conferences like the one that is happening in Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda. Yeah, it's still on AI, you see. So, and more or less many and many others happening even last month in Nairobi. Like there are many topics people are discussing on this. But if we can't create AI literacy, then these are the risks that we are going to meet. Yes, someone with something to add on this to answer Benson? Anyone? Someone? Anyone? I like these conversations, guys. So let's be open to to discuss these issues because these are the things we face. Not that you are not a tech person that you will not meet AI or you do not need to hear about AI because you're not a tech person. AI is not for tech people. You need to know that, by the way. And you need to tell your people, your network, that AI is not for tech people. AI is for all of us. Okay? AI is changing even how we book. Even for you to reach where you need to go, you are using Google Maps. Okay? If you need to order something, you're just ordering something online. If you want to search for something, like all these things, AI, we are interacting with the AI systems now in, now out. Even AI systems in terms of even how we watch movies, how we watch content on YouTube, on social media. There is AI everywhere. And so we can't run away. This is a conversation we need to have, AI literacy. Is there anyone with a comment on this, or we proceed to the next one? Benson, hope we have tried to answer your question in regards to that. Yes, David, please proceed.
Just to add on what you had said, what you have answered. I think at workplace, whenever you use the AI to do your own research, maybe, or feed it with the company's data, I feel like if you have an account, I think that data is only available to you, and maybe unless a person can access your account uh, using your device or something like that, or you log into somebody else's device with your account and you leave it there. That's when that data is likely to be to leak outside. Number two, there is an option of just using AI without creating an account. So if you are outside your workplace and then you just use your company's data to do some research without accessing or logging into your account, I believe you have leaked that organization's data. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, David. Yes, Onganyo, sorry. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. Just to reiterate what David has said, I believe that it's true that when you have accounts with the different AI service providers, you are likely to have a little bit of privacy. But again, the question comes with regards to you being able to control that data. How sure are you that tomorrow the same data that you have with say Anthropic or OpenAI, how sure are you that we won't go behind your back and then decide to use the same data? Because again, we also don't have visibility on how the data is actually used to do the training of new models and all that. So I think it's quite important for you to just understand what exactly you are sharing or the data that you're actually sharing when you are trying to get help. Because again, as I said, you can't really be sure of what data um, the different AI service providers are able to just glean on. In as much as they tell you that, yes, if you have an account, if you have a paid account, you can control all that. It's much better to be safer than sorry. And that's my thinking.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Onyanyo, for your input on this topic. Yeah, as always, AI literacy is very important. Is very needed more than ever. AI literacy is needed more than ever because if people are not aware on how they can use AI, they will end up exposing information that is not supposed to be exposed. And it doesn't matter, by the way, even if you are even using the open account without signing up, because you're feeding this data. The only thing that doesn't happen when you don't create an account is that it will not have a history of the conversation for the previous conversation, but it will use this information to fine tune how decisions are made from the AI. So it's good for us to just be aware to create literacy, AI literacy among our teams, among our friends, among our networks, so that we can leverage on AI fully and improve and know what to protect and what is safe, what is not safe, and how we can be able to maneuver in this AI era. Thank you so much for your input, David, and also thank you so much for your input, Onyanyo. So thank you so much. Yeah, so let's go to the next prompt as we in case there is more insights, you can give that in the chat section. Now, the second prompt is how do you learn about rules you should follow when building AI tools? This is not more of when building AI tools, but let's say when building while or using AI tools. How do you learn? Because this one actually relates to the first question. How do you learn about rules you should follow when building AI tools? This is more of how do you learn about rules you should follow when using AI tools? Let me hear from you. No one should be left behind in Africa's AI future. Hope you are noting these prompts down here. No one should be left behind in the African's AI future. So, how do you learn about rules you should follow or use while building or using AI tools? Any input on that? 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 I know this data protection topic is is a very nice topic to discuss, and yes, I'll still reiterate what I had mentioned initially. That someone was advising me that, oh, this is not the right time for us to discuss this AI topic with data privacy, data protection. Yeah, but it's better for us to start having this conversation as early as now than later. Then, David, do you have something on this? Uh, David, do you have anything on this? I can see your hand is up. Okay. Okay. How do we learn about rules we should follow? Yeah. So the rules to follow is good for us to go through the laws and ethics. Okay. AI ethics, data privacy ethics. Of course, we need to ensure that the system we develop are fair. Okay. We need to ensure that the system that we develop or how we use, even that doesn't really mean that we are even talking about the AI system themselves, even whatever we use. Okay, we need transparency, we need no biasness, we need accountability, responsibility, and accountability. These are very, very important. Suppose an AI system does something goes wrong with the AI system, who should be accountable? Who should be actually responsible? This is a very a very conversation that we need to have. Who is responsible of these aspects? So someone needs to be accountable in case of AI misinformation. That's why when you are using AI, it's good for you to proofread the information, correct the information, ensure that the information is correct, is up to date, so that you do not become a victim, because you are the one who is behind that AI. So you need to be accountable for that. Even the AI models that you use, you'll always see there that this can make mistakes. Okay, ensure you check. That's very important. Ensure that you cross check before using uh, maybe outputs from there, or also while building these systems, you need to ensure that you comply with the national data protection laws, you comply with organization compliance policies, you comply with industry standards, you comply with professional trainings. These ones are professional trainings on data protection, professional trainings. You can get this information and use that for building or using even AI. Also, legal consultations. You can invite legal people to come and share more insights on this topic. Okay. And also ethical AI frameworks, like the ones that have been developed across Africa and the world. So we just need to be updated about this information. And yes, Africa must be a co-creator of global AI norms, not just a consumer of AI. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining our session today, and we look forward to having more or less similar discussions. But I want you to create an account. If you want to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn, Emmanuel Madanga. Just search LinkedIn, Emmanuel Madanga. You'll be able to connect with me. But I have here a few links. I want us to create an account on this link. I want us to create an account on this link. Let me share in the chat section. Create an account here. If you don't have one, you will get resources to these topics. We'll be having more or less of these conversations, either at the university level or as Kenya or as East Africa. Okay. So just ensure you create an account here, join 2 circles. If you're a university student, you can join Technical University of Mombasa for now, or if you're from a different university, you can reach out to me and I can see how I can onboard you as a chapter of your university so that you can also start leading these similar conversations. And there are more resources on this account, so check this link, https that app.alliance for AI, Alliance for AI. So let me just type app.alliance for ai.org. So this is in the chat section, app.allianceforai.org. Create an account there. And then also, if you need to learn about GPUs, Hub GPUs, you can also check on Africa GPU Hub. If you want to learn about Zindi, you can just use this link. This is my referral link to that. I'm a Zindi ambassador, as I mentioned, so you can use my referral link in the chat section to join Zindi platform. This is Zindi. You can use this link to join Zindi platform. You can ask me about this Zindi as well once you have access to me via LinkedIn. You can ask me about Zindi. If you want to know about Beyond Data ICT, visit beyonddataict.com. Here's where you will get to, if you want to venture into the data space, you just want to get started, you want to learn about AI literacy, you want to learn about digital skills that you can use for work, learning, or for income as a freelancer, you just reach out to us, beyonddataict.com. If you need to know to join, if you're a technical university from Mombasa and you're in a network, I don't know if Dennis has something in relation to that. There's a WhatsApp group. I think you can as well still reach out to me via LinkedIn and I can connect you with Dennis. Dennis is the chairman of Technical University of Mombasa Tech and Innovation Club. If you want to join Mombasa community, AI community, that's for AI for good, you can also reach out to me. Have all this connection, so we can link you. And we will also be having some programs on robotics in Mombasa. So if you're also in Mombasa, we'll also be looking forward to see how we can work together in this particular area. Otherwise, thank you so much. Sorry for stealing your 1 minute, but I appreciate for you joining us. And we look forward to more or less similar discussions. For us to stay connected, ensure you create an account on app.allianceforai. Also, ensure you reach me via LinkedIn. I will add you to our community. There's a WhatsApp group for Beyond Data ICT community where we also have webinars and physical events in machine learning, data science, and AI. So ensure that you also collect just my details and I'll be able to onboard you on that. Just text me where do you want me to onboard you and I'll be able to just do that. If you need more information of any of this, always also feel free to reach out. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have all of you, and we'll be having our next discussion most probably next week, same time. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening, colleagues. Goodbye.